Okay, anyone who can define PES? Can you define?
Price elasticity of supply is a measure of the responsiveness of quantity supplied to a change in price. The formula is percentage change in quantity supplied upon percentage change in price.
Absolutely. Good. It measures the responsiveness of quantity supplied to a change in price of a product. Then write the formula. PES is equal to percentage change in quantity supplied upon percentage change in price. Now, factors affecting PES. Before getting to the factors, you should keep it in mind that think that you are a supplier, you are a producer, you are a manufacturer. So you know very well that if price of my product increases in the market, I will be supplying more. Yeah, because it is profitable for me. But you don't know how much you will be able to supply. So if you are making, say, stationery items, or you're making mobile phones, or you're making television sets, so when the prices are rising in the market, say by 50%, now whether you will be able to supply it by 50%, more than 50%, or less than 50% will determine the price elasticity of supply. How sensitive, how quickly you will be able to supply the products with the rise in price of your goods in the market. Okay, so if you are able to arrange for the resources and supply quickly in the market, then it will be elastic. Okay, understand it carefully. So if you as a producer, you are able to supply your product when the price of your product rises in the market. So if you capture the market fast, it is elastic. But if due to any reason you are trying hard to increase the supply, because every producer would want to supply more to capture the profit. But if you're not able to do that, then it is relatively inelastic. Now let's look into the factors affecting, keeping that thing in mind. Let's see when is the product elastic and when is it inelastic. Availability of resources. So what do you say? If resources are available, whether the good will be elastic or inelastic?
Elastic because available.
It is elastic because as there will be a percentage rise in the price of your product, your percentage production or supply will be much higher because the resources are available with you. You will try to capture more profit. But if you're making some technical product, if you need very skilled people to make that product, if your raw material is imported, which is coming from other countries, then it will be a little challenging for you to produce, right? So then it will be inelastic. Okay, let's move to the second one. Length of production process. So now again, think that you are a manufacturer. So if your production process is longer, that means the product you are making passes through a lot of stages. You know, say for example, a car manufacturing company. So you will have to put in the batteries and the parts and then painting it and windows and glass and other things. So it's a long production process to get a car ready in the factory. So even if the prices rise to a large extent, immediately you will not be able to supply so many cars in the market. It takes its own time. So then in that case, it will be elastic or inelastic.
If production process is longer, then it'll be inelastic.
Then it will be inelastic. Good. Yeah, because it will be difficult for you to produce. You will not be able to produce to the extent of the rise in price. It will be lesser than that. Yeah. And if the length of production process is small, you just put in the raw material and the things are ready. For example, if you go to Parle Biscuit Factory, you put in the raw material and the biscuits are coming. So it's a faster process, right? So then it will be more elastic. So whenever the price rises, you can comfortably increase your production. Let's move to the third point. Storage capacity. Now, storage capacity means, again, if your product is such, you can store in the warehouse, it doesn't get spoiled. And whenever the price rises, you can release it in the market. Like, again, stationery items, pencils, pen and other stuff. That can be easily stored. You can release it in the market, But perishable goods, food items, vegetables, fruits, milk products, you cannot store it for long. It gets spoiled. So higher the storage capacity of the good, will it be elastic or inelastic?
I think if the goods are perishable, it will be inelastic.
Correct. It will be inelastic. And if it can be stored for long, it will be elastic. And always try to give examples in your answer. So if we are discussing some example, either you can create your own example and just make a note of it, or just write whatever we are discussing. Okay, next. Can anyone explain me the spare capacity, the next point?
Like if the machinery are running at, like 100%, or if like you have spare capacity to produce more.
Very good. Yes. Yes, exactly. So spare capacity, when we talk about, we are talking in context to machinery. If your machinery has the spare capacity, that means suppose you buy a machinery for say 50 lakh rupees, and it has the capacity to make say 10,000 pencils in a day. Now the demand for pencils increase when the colleges and schools start. So during that time, if the stock is less in the market and the price is going up, say price of one box of pencil was earlier say 50 rupees and now it has moved to 70 rupees due to shortage in the market, you would like to make more pencils. But if your machinery is running at 100% capacity, if it's only possible to make say 1000 pencil in a day and it's already making it, then you cannot manufacture it in the same machine. Otherwise it will start giving you problems. So you have to then either take a loan, order for a new machine. So if the spare capacity is full, then the product is inelastic in nature. But suppose your machinery is running at 50% capacity. So you are presently making 500 pencils in a day, but machinery has a capacity to make 1000 pencils. And now when the price rises in the market, you can quickly order the raw material and then start production, or maybe you need a little more labor force with you. So it will be elastic in nature. If suppose you're making mobile phones and you invest 1 CR in the machinery, and that machinery can make 100 mobile phones in a day. Okay. So if the demand for mobile phone rises in the market and the price has increased by 20%, then you would like to make more mobile phones, but your machinery doesn't allow you to make that because it's already giving its best. It's running at full capacity. So in that case, if you have to produce more mobile phones, you need another machinery. You need to expand your business. For that, you might have to take loans. You have to order the machine by the time it comes. So the production will get delayed. So in that case, it is inelastic supply. Now coming to agricultural and manufactured goods. Will agricultural good be inelastic in supply or elastic in supply?
Elastic.
Why?
Because agriculture depends on weather conditions.
Correct.
That can affect the supply.
Correct. So you cannot increase the production of agriculture goods even if the prices are rising, and that we experience every time in the market. Onion prices from 20 rupees, it moves to 70, 80, 100, 120 because the supply is less. Because the farmer cannot just grow it and release it in the market. So it is dependent on climatic factors. It has its own season. So agricultural goods are generally inelastic supply in nature, and manufactured goods, since it depends on the labor and raw material mainly, land, the factories is already there, machinery it's already there. So then it is more elastic in nature. But having said that, there are certain goods where you need very high capital investment in machinery, and if your machinery is running at full capacity and you need highly technical skilled labor, or you need the raw material which is expensive, or which is inelastic in its supply itself, or which is imported from other countries, then even some manufactured goods will also be inelastic in nature. Okay, now look at the diagrams carefully. Demand you all have understood last time. Look at the supply diagrams. So in case of elastic, see the slope how it will come. Look at the first diagram. So first one is PES is greater than 1. That means price elasticity of supply is elastic in nature. As we have just discussed the factors, it is elastic when a small change in price is bringing a large change in quantity supplied. That means you as a producer, when your product price is rising by say 20%, the supply is increasing by more than 20%, say 40%. Yeah. So then the slope of the supply curve, you can see that P to P1 is a small gap, but Q to Q1 is a bigger gap, right? And even if you put it in the formula, PES ka, so percentage change in quantity supplied upon percentage change in price. So you can say 40% change in supply upon 20% change in price will give you 2 as an answer. So if it is greater than 1 answer, it is elastic supply. The second diagram is PES less than 1, which is relatively inelastic. So even if the price is rising by a very large percentage, say let's say 50% rise in price, we can see in the diagram P, the gap here between P to P1 is very high, but the gap here is less. So let's say if this is price is increasing by 50%, but the supply is increasing by only 25%. Okay, so it is relatively inelastic in nature, because when you put it in the formula also, 25 upon 50 will be 0.5, less than 1. Third diagram is PES equal to 1. The gap between both will be similar. So if the price is rising by 50%, the demand also, supply also rises by 50%, then it's same. Perfectly inelastic supply is, it's a vertical supply. You can see that straight line. So even if the price keep rising, supply remains same. Like for example, in case of stadium or a cinema hall, you know, the supply is perfectly inelastic. The number of seats remain the same, even if the ticket price is high. And PES is equal to infinity. This is completely like perfectly elastic supply. So supply keep on increasing at the same price. So last two are theoretical. What is relevant is first two in our case. So let me take you through some questions now. Explain 2 reasons why the supply of a product may be price inelastic. 4 marks. Explain difference between inelastic supply and perfectly inelastic supply. Explain 2 reasons why the supply of product may be price inelastic. Now you know the factors we just did, price inelastic. Who wants to answer this?
Spare capacity of machines in the business.
Correct, spare capacity.
Agricultural goods.
So when you are answering this, because it is saying 2 reasons why the supply of the product may become price inelastic. So you will talk about only inelastic side of it. So you will say that the supply, the spare capacity, if the spare capacity of the machine is not available, then it will make the supply inelastic. So even if the price of the product rises by a higher percentage, the supplier will not be able to supply up to that.
Agricultural goods.
Second point?
Agricultural goods.
Okay. So that is basically, as such, it's an example rather than a point.
Okay.
So,
an availability of fewer resources.
Yeah. Fewer resources or technical resources required there, or difficult to get it, or longer production period. Let's see the point. Longer production period, this will make difficult to adjust the supply. Inability to store the product, that is perishable goods, which cannot be stored. Time period, shortage of resources. Yeah, so any 2 points which you can explain, give examples there. Yeah, okay, next one. Inelastic supply will be PES less than 1. Perfectly inelastic will be PES equal to 0. And in both, you should make the diagram here for both, because this is a very clear diagram question. So they will not write, okay, make the diagram, but it is understood. You should. So you can define here, write the formula, PES less than 1 and PES equal to 0, and make diagram. If you found this video helpful, do drop a like and share it with your friends. If you want to see more such videos, subscribe to this channel and let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. Hope to see you in the next episode of Dimplenomics. Till then, keep learning, keep growing. All the best. God bless.